r/ask Reddit. Which celebrity is not as nice as they seem? Ellen DeGeneres. My dad works in the entertainment industry and says she's notorious for being awful with her staff and really not giving a shit about anyone but herself. Her staff also now have to sign clauses saying they can't say anything bad about her if/when they are fired or quit. There was some interview she did just before her Netflix special came out where she pretty much said she's not really a nice person and pretty much wants to be left alone. And that she's wanted to quit her show for a while and keeps getting talked out of it. Also, she stopped dancing on her show because she was tired of people accosting her on the street to dance with them all the time. I did a job with Emma Watson and the writer from her people was insane. Temperature requirements to 1/10 of a degree etc etc. I prepared for the worst. I'm somewhat used to this. She shows up, probably one of the friendliest celebs I've met. I know it doesn't answer the cue, but it's the first one I thought of. I was preparing myself to be really sad but this turned out pleasant. Luke Bryan is a pose cursed at my crew constantly. Post Malone was super freaking cool though and took the time to thank all of us. Stage hands. Post Malone does seem like a real decent person. Posty is a sweetheart. His episodes on the H3 podcast are so sweet. I used to waitress at a restaurant that had some celebrity clients. This was years ago. Here is the rundown. Larry David, super nice, great tipper. Roger Waters, very nice, good sense of humor. He was a regular and everyone loved him and his wife. Alec Baldwin, donkey, sweaty in person. Kim Cattrall, really nice, had a really hot young guy with her. John McEnroe, pretty rude, but he had a million kids with him, so I guess he gets a pass. My cousin was a huge Ariana Grande fan, and one time met her at a concert. She showed Ariana her homemade t-shirt that she made especially for the concert, and Ariana just laughed in her face and said, "What is that?" and made my cousin feel awful about herself. It crushed her that her idol laughed in her face. She's not that sweet girl she pretends to be. Lol, the fact that people can't tell she was that mean girl in high school astounds me. Just watch her professional interviews. She acts like a diva. Will Ferrell. When filming Talladega Nights he dined at a Charlotte restaurant with some of the production crew, including John C. Reilly. Apparently, whenever Will was addressed by the waitress he would refuse to look or speak to her. Instead, he would look at someone else and say, "Tell the girl I'd like this." John was apparently mortified and tried to overcompensate by being extra nice to the staff. Broke my damn heart to find this out. He visits a particular ski town in Colorado quite often. I've never heard anything bad about him from those who met him. However, they do say he is very quiet and tries to keep the lowest profile possible. I used to know someone who produced a Tobey Maguire movie and claimed that he is not a very nice person at all. Anybody interested in looking into this should check out Molly's Game, a novel/movie about a woman who ran a high-stakes underground poker operation with some of Hollywood's biggest stars. In the novel, she specifically targets Tobey Maguire as her most troubling regular and has a lot of anecdotes about him just being an In the movie, Michael Cera plays an unnamed actor that acts as an antagonist and it's not so secret that he's supposed to represent Tobey Maguire. A few years ago I was with a coworker friend and Demi Lovato was at an event near where we worked. Now I did not and still don't care about her, but my friend was so over the moon for her and went on about how she had her book, how Demi got her to stop cutting, and so on. Demi walks our way and my friend starts to say things like "OMG, you got me through my depression," and Demi made a face, rolled her eyes, and walked around us. It broke my friend's heart. She never mentioned Demi after that. Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. My buddy was at the Roxy watching some live music. Chad was in front of him. Someone else yells back, quote, "Nickelback sucks," back quote. Chad thinks it's my buddy, turns around and punches him out. My friend wakes up to find out he got punched out by Chad Kroeger, which is the equivalent to someone urinating on your ego, but also a hilarious story. Long story short, he got paid out through private litigation because Nickelback was about to go on tour and Chad couldn't get stuck in Canada fighting the case or worse. Edit. Almost forgot the best part. When my buddy came to, apparently he said back quote, "But I like Nickelback." Bill Nye. Granted, in the last few years he's revealed himself as a self-centered jerk, but I'm reminded of a story from a podcast a few months back. A girl was working retail at a clothing store and Bill Nye walks in. He ends up at her register and she says something to the tune of, "Hi Bill, I just wanted to say I appreciate what you did for getting kids into science. I grew up watching your show." Bill replies, "And look where that got you." This is the first comment that's dropped my jaw and I've been reading for almost an hour. Got him. I met Tilla Tequila outside a club in Vegas, 2015. She kept staring at the bag of peanuts I was eating, but she wouldn't say anything. I offered her a handful of peanuts and she became very docile, eating out of my hand for a few minutes, while my friends joked and took pictures. Suddenly she bit my finger hard, right down to the bone, causing me to drop the bag of peanuts which she grabbed as she scampered away. I was bleeding really bad, but the bouncer just laughed and said it happens every Saturday night. That, my friend, was a squirrel. You were drunk. It was a squirrel. Christian Bale was notorious for going off on someone while shooting Terminator Salvation. Bale looked like a complete asshole and douche when he cursed out / threatened to have fired some guy trying to help out on set. But after the incident, Bale came out and apologized, saying he was trying to summon an air of madness for his role as John Connor and has a lot of shame in how he treated the character. Also, after the incident, numerous actors and directors have come out and said how much they enjoy working with Bale and that his dedication to roles is inspiring and that the incident didn't reflect how he normally works with other people. So his script is kinda flipped. He was definitely perceived as some huge asshole, but in reality he sounds like a legit dude to work with. I guess you don't hear much from him anymore, but Gallagher, you know, the guy who smashed watermelons. I was in a venue while he was practicing for his show that night. He was cussing and swearing and hollering at all his stage hands and everybody around him. Now here's the funny part. We ran into him later in the hall. Told him we tried to buy tickets to his sold out show. He took us to the box office and got us promo free tickets. He also has an identical twin brother who apparently is a prick and straight up steals his act. May have been him. I met Daniel Radcliffe very briefly when he was on Broadway in How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, post Potter. I waited at the stage door and he came out after the show to sign. He was so sweet and spent a lot of time with people. I had him sign my copy of the Deathly Hallows, but babbled something to the effect of, "Sorry, I know you're not just Harry Potter lol," and he looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Please don't be sorry, I'm so proud of Harry Potter and happy to sign it," and I told him I was really excited for the Woman in Black to come out lol, and he said thank you and let me take his picture when I asked. Super nice guy, really made this fangirl's dreams come true. It's heartwarming to hear that an actor whose work influenced a generation of pop culture is actually proud of it. I saw Dwayne Johnson at a gym at a hotel I was staying at. I made eye contact with him and almost shit myself. Instantly trying to be stronger than I was already, I wanted to muster up the courage to say hi to him. I didn't at all. I was so nervous I didn't know what to do with myself, so I froze. But he seemed like a lovely guy, and I spoke to his wife, bold move I know, who I didn't even know, and she said he was even better in person than on TV. Every time I saw him on that trip he was smiling. Big regrets, but I couldn't bear to butt him on his vacation /family. It makes you feel better his wife probably spoke about you to him, so he at least briefly knew you existed. I met Seinfeld at a casino in Vegas 4 years ago. He wasn't nice. He was a snarky, condescending comic. It was exactly the personality you see on TV. He took a selfie with us. We thanked and at the end said this is price of flying private jets. I actually thought it was a very memorable encounter. And I didn't think any less of him, even though you could tell he had zero interest in us. I met him when I worked as a photographer in Lake Louise. This description is pretty accurate. He was amused at the price we sold our photos at. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for I upload daily and suggest what subreddit I should cover next. Thank you and happy travels.